My name is Laura Gray Rosendale, and I'm a professor of English at Northern Arizona University. I recently published in 2013 a book called College Girl, a Memoir. And the basic story is, and I should begin by saying this is the single most important book I will write in my life. The reason why is it tells the story of me as a 20-year-old college, quote-unquote, girl who had a very positive life, good friends, who was idealistic, naive, an uber nerd, all of these things, and who one night everything for her changed. She woke up in the middle of the night, I woke up in the middle of the night to a stranger standing over me. He immediately pushed me down on my bed, suffocated me, held something sharp to my neck, and said, "This is a knife, I'm gonna slit your throat. If you don't do what I say, I'm gonna kill you." He raped me repeatedly that night, and at the end of that night, that college girl was no longer there. She died. I wrote this story for other survivors who think that they're alone and that no one else has gone through this experience. And I wrote it for the people who love them.
I'm Mike Levin. I am a language and theater arts educator at Flagstaff Arts and Leadership Academy, and I put together the script for On Thinking. On Thinking is a 93-minute performance piece that collages together various genres of theatrical performative arts, and it explores the themes of Hannah Arendt, metacognition, death, and technology. It was meant to explore how human beings are becoming less and more human with the rise of technology in our lives. I wrote it because it was daunting and impossible, and I didn't know what a play about thinking could look like. I want to thank Flagstaff cultural partners, my colleagues at FALA, my family, and the NEH.
My name is Ed George. I was one of two cameramen on M.L. Lincoln's film Wrenched about Ed Abbey and the Monkey Wrench Gang. The film sort of encapsulates the environmental movement that resulted after Ed Abbey wrote the Monkey Wrench Gang along with his other writing. I think this whole process that resulted in Wrench began when M.L. did a film on Katie Lee called Drowning River. And I think that led her into wanting to go further into the environmental movement and the history of the environmental movement. I think the film Wrenched is important because I think Ed Abbey and Ed Abbey's writing is important, especially his novel, The Monkey Wrench Gang. And I think it shows the history of the late environmental movement in the United States, how it all started. I think the special thing about ML and the making of Wrenched is the fact that she brought so many disparate elements together. The characters, what's happening now with the environmental movement, and she, with this film, I think will raise an awareness of where we are in the environmental movement today.
Hi, I'm James Q. Martin. I've been nominated for the Rios Libres Project and our latest film, Streams of Consequence. The Rios Libres Project is centered around using multimedia to raise awareness for a mega hydroelectric power operation that is planned in Patagonia, Chile. So what we do is we produce media through photos, video, writing, etc., to raise awareness so that we can keep Patagonia wild. I'm passionate about these places because I've had a visceral understanding of what it's like to be in the middle of nowhere and remote and completely removed from everything that we see in society. We as humans are kind of populating it all, and it would be nice to see some of these areas protected in perpetuity. I'm extremely proud of this project, mostly because of the support that it's had through the outdoor industry, through local support here in our community in Flagstaff and internationally, where people are really taking the time and energy to stand up for what they believe in.
Hi, my name is Seth Muller, and I'm a writer here in Flagstaff, and I'm nominated for a play I wrote called Convergence. The play I wrote is actually a drama that's based on a woman who is a lost soul, and she comes into the orbit of a charismatic guru and goes on one of his arduous retreats, and some people end up dead, and it raises a lot of questions about zealotry and blind submission and our human hunger for meaning. I love storytelling. I think I became a writer as a chance to tell stories, and I don't limit myself by genre. I'm interested in telling stories, whether in journalistic form or in fictional form, or writing for the stage, writing poetry. I often pick the genre that feels right for the kind of story I want to tell, and that to me is a really exciting, energetic, exploration.
I'm Jesse Sensbar, and this is James J., and we're nominated for the Narrow Chimney Reading Series.
We put together the Narrow Chimney Reading Series to showcase professional writers and MFA students from NAU's English department. We put them together in a room, and we want them to be able to highlight their talents in a wide range of styles, genres, from poetry to fiction to drama. And from there, we create the space for them to tell stories and have their voices heard throughout the community.
We created the Narrow Chimney Reading Series because we didn't feel that there was a place in Flagstaff for writers to read their work on a regular basis.
We've had some outstanding authors come through our doors and read for the series. We had Ann Cummins, Nicole Walker, I could go on and on. We've also had Eddie Ciuccolotti come in when he was just passing through town and dropped in and read from his latest work. We've also had quite a few absolutely talented MFA students come up and read their work.
I'm Nicole Walker, and I'm a poet and essayist, and I am the program director for the MFA program at Northern Arizona University. I wrote the book Quench Your Thirst with Salt, which won the Zone 3 Creative Nonfiction Contest and was published this summer. It's a book about growing up in Salt Lake City, Utah, and it pairs my personal story with the geology and landscape of Salt Lake Valley and Utah's general landscape. What I love about writing is the way that when I situate my personal story inside a larger context, like one of geology or medicine or drought, I see my story in a new way. And one thing I hope is that by writing it well, others hear their stories in new ways too. To me, writing is the best way to reach out to other people. It's like putting together a great puzzle, and I can say, all right, what do I want to say? And then imagine what other people want to hear. And somewhere along the road, I hope we make some compromise and some connection.